You ready?
Hi, it's Jane with the Compassion Project, and I am here today with my second brave couple, Lesley and Augie Rosas. Welcome, you two. I'm super excited that you're here to play Cool to Connect Couple.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And I do want to say thank you to Augie because I really, I think it's a little harder for the men to be like, I'm going to play this game. So I really admire you.
You'll be easy on me, I'm sure, right?
So, this beautiful and inspiring couple have been married for 9 years, together for 10 years. They live in Northern California, and together they have a combined family of 17 children and 13 grandchildren and another grandchild on the way. I totally love it. And Lesley is an experienced life coach and a creator at Color Me Unstoppable. It's an amazing business she has. We'll post her website later and you can check it out. And Augie is the owner at Foothill Country Sheds. And today, so we're going to be playing Cool to Connect, and it's a game where I will ask 3 thought-provoking questions. I actually have some cards here. So it's an actual game with a set of 52 cards designed by Dana Clark, a beautiful woman in Toronto, Canada. And the questions are amazing. So they're surprise questions. Augie and Lesley have no idea what we're going to ask. And so it just gets a really good conversation going. And Lesley and I did play. Her and I played a game together. Yeah, I think it was in early January, and it was a beautiful conversation. I loved it. So now I kind of wonder, I wouldn't mind starting, before I do the questions, do you mind just telling everyone how you guys met quickly? Is that a quick story, Lesley?
It's not quick, but I can make it quick. My son set me up with a website for dating. I was a single mom with my kids, and set me up with a dating website. And I went through men and went through men. It was no, 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 yes, maybe, no. And eventually I kind of gave up on it. But just before I had given up, I had seen Augie's profile, had messaged him just the automatic message, hey, I like your profile, but he didn't answer me. Now, at the same time, what was happening on your end?
Yeah, I was on a site as well. And kind of same thing, tried to make some contact, and nothing really sparked any interest. And after it wasn't very long, I think it was a month or 2, I decided, you know what, this is kind of a waste of time. I'm not really enjoying this. So I kind of backed out of it pretty much at the time that she messaged me. Probably she messaged me the day after I kind of backed out of it. And then I came back after about a month and I saw her message there, and I was like, oh, wow, her profile looks really interesting. She's really cute. I think I'll message back, and the rest is history.
The piece that you don't understand is that on these profiles, they have place you put it's 1 to 2 children, 3 plus or something like that,
or
5
plus. 5 plus. Yeah.
So neither of us knew how many children were between us. So once we met, so it's like a month after I sent the message, I haven't been on, but I got an email that said that he responded. And that's how we started. But we had decided, once we got to know how many children there were between us, that we would just be friends. And
plus the distance. We were 6 hours apart.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you, Lesley, at the time, you had 13 children, and Augie had, no.
I had 12.
And you had 5. Wow.
Right. Yes, 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was a little bit upset because I was forced to put 5 plus, which makes it seem like, well, how many do you have? I mean, it could be 10, right? And I had 5. So it was like, oh man, this is not going to portray my situation very good. And I didn't know she had 12 because it just said 5 plus.
My goodness. So. And now together. Wow.
So we became friends. And, he'd call me and say, hey, you want to watch a movie tonight? And I would say, sure. He'd pick a movie. I'd go to the video store, rent a movie, and we would get the kids to bed and get on the phone together because we're 6 hours apart. And we'd push start the movie, and we'd watch a movie together. And
We're like 3, 2, 1, play.
and
Laughing at the exact same time and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
we couldn't go to sleep
It was
because we
pretty
enjoyed
funny.
each other's company too much.
Aw.
So eventually he called me one day and he said, I want to come see you. I want to come meet you. This man drove, it's actually 6.5 hours to meet me at a Starbucks, and then turned around and drove back to be back for his kids the same day.
Okay, Augie. Way to go.
It was
That's
worth it.
He's a miracle. This man's a miracle.
Aw,
You
yeah.
know, a man that would take on me and my kids the way that he has, it's a blessing beyond. I call it the greatest love story ever, because it's
Aw.
a blessing beyond anything I ever imagined.
I love it. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay,
Was
let's
that
do
quick,
this now.
Jane?
That's the short version.
The short version.
Oh, maybe one day come on and do the long version. It's fun. Okay, so just so people know, here are the cards, and I'm going to mix them up because we have no idea what cards they're going to get. So shuffle them all up. Let the universe decide. Shuffle, shuffle.
Mhm.
What questions are they going to get?
What's your
So,
favorite
okay,
color?
shuffle them.
Oh,
Now,
man.
I'm gonna get you. Do you guys want me to just pick the top one or the bottom?
Top one.
Here we go. First question. Oh, this is good.
What?
People get like, okay, that's not fair. You read the question. We don't know what it is. What is something you believed as a child that isn't true? That's pretty. Look at Leslie's face. That's pretty good. I know.
I can tell you what I thought wasn't true at one point in my life.
Yeah.
You know, as a child, I had a huge imagination, and I believed that anything was possible. And along the journey of my life, I lost that. I lost that childlike like belief that anything's possible, and I believed that nothing was possible.
Aw.
I believed I was stuck, and that there was no moving forward or backward in my life. That pretty much my life was over, and it was what it was. And now I believe that anything is possible again.
Aw,
You know,
don't you
when you
wish you could
lose-
go back to that child and be like, it's okay?
Absolutely. It's actually one of my biggest dreams, is that when we pass, that we could go back and live a life in the day with our child. I think that would be amazing, to be like,
Yeah.
have a bird's eye view and be able to just see her as she truly was.
As a child, I know, to see yourself
Yeah.
as a child, to be able to, I think about that too, because it's hard. We have challenges, but now as grandparents, you see your children is just so full of joy, and they're just so pure, these young, you just want to be like, keep them happy and pure and joyful, right? But somehow I
That's
think
right.
along the way, our brains get all, I don't know, things happen and people we experiences, and then we have to, as we get older, we have to go back to find the joy again, our true inner. Yeah. So what about you, Augie? So what is something you believed as a child that isn't true?
That nuns were evil, mean people. Because I went to Catholic school, and I used to think the nuns just were out to make my life, miserable and keep me from having fun. And now that I think about it, I realize, you know what, they were just trying to teach us good, Christian ethics and morals, and keep us on the right track, and educate us well. And when I look back, I'm like, you know what? They actually were probably super sweet, nice people, but in my, little kid mind, I just thought, oh, they're just trying to keep me from being, everything I want to be and do the things I want to do. And so yeah, no, because I can think back of, nice things that they were actually doing. Now that as I'm an adult, I realize, you know what, they were actually doing some very sweet, kind things, but I just had this mindset that they just,
That's
they
so
were just out
interesting.
to restrict me.
You were a bad boy. Though.
And
Well,
I probably deserved all the discipline I got for sure.
Well, and they probably, yeah, because they have their job to do and they have their what they have to do and teach these children. But
Yeah.
there's a line that I love, and it's what you don't know that you don't know. And as children, what you don't know is you don't about those nuns that would go home or what their life was like when they weren't with you. You just don't know. So especially as children, you feel like, let me be free and play.
Well, it's funny because my niece is a nun now, and I know her, you know, because she's my niece. I mean, I grew up taking care of her, babysitting, and she's a very kind, sweet person. But I imagine that, you know, there's young people that she works with that, you know, don't know her. You know, all they see is the, you know, the way they dress, very kind of austere, and you know, they probably get this image of this person that's very, you know, clean cut, straight laced, you know, hardcore. When really I know what she's like. She's a very sweet, kind person. You know?
I know. It's just there's so much to what we don't know about another person. You know, we just see the surface. We don't know. So, all right, good answers. Okay. You ready for the next one? I love this because I don't have to answer them. I used to get really nervous, but I've done the whole deck. I answered every question.
She went through and practiced.
So, do you want me to do the next top one, Lesley?
Sure.
Top and bottom, top.
Sure.
What is the best advice someone has given you? Sometimes it's hard on the spot to be like, let me think, because I had answered some, because when we do it live, you have to think and answer on the spot. Yeah. I had answered some, and later I'd be like, oh, I thought of a better answer. It's a good question.
You're saying the best advice someone else has ever given us.
Yeah, someone else has given you best advice.
Well, I don't know about if this is really advice, but my dad, he's a character.
Your dad?
And yes. And growing up, he taught me, he would say, Lesley, you're tougher than nails. And when someone says something that hurts you, just let it run off your back like a duck, run off your back like a duck. He said it a little more explicitly, but, and I look at the time, I kind of resented his, I felt like he was requiring me to be a very tough person, to have a very tough outer shell. But looking back now in my life, I see that he was preparing me for what I would go through without even realizing it. His advice to me was what I needed later in my life.
Wow. You know, see, there's Wayne Dyer is that I can see clearly now that he's got a Wayne Dyer's book, and it's so you can look back in your life and you can see clearly what that actually meant, because we don't know sometimes when we're in it, if someone says something, you take it a certain way, and then you're like, oh wait, that was actually really valuable. That is good though, because I think if you can let things flow off you, I think too often we hold things in our head, and that's good.
And being tougher than nails, I mean, I've had to call on that with all 12 of my children. You know, bearing them and getting them into this world.
12, honestly, I had 2 daughters, and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Love them, everything about them, but I don't know.
Right.
Right.
Can I ask you about the 12 children? Do the older ones help with the little ones? Like when you have that many children?
Oh yeah. I had them paired up. There was an older with a younger. Everywhere we went, they had their buddy.
Okay.
And my children, it was interesting because they would almost pick who was their buddy. As you know, a new baby would come, one of the older ones would gravitate to that baby, and that they would become the buddy. And yeah, that was just their requirement to help me. Like we went to town, that's get your buddy, you know, get them unloaded, get them in the cart, or grab their hand, or whatever it took. It was definitely a team effort.
Wow. I think your story could be a movie. Okay, so Augie, what is the best advice someone has given you?
You know, actually, Lesley, not that long ago, she said, what you focus on expands. And I have used that a lot ever since she said that, because it's and I've seen it like come true in a big way. Like one example is for my business, try to keep it really short, but we used to have two sides of it. There was the construction side where we built our own storage sheds and barns and garages and things. And on the other side, we also sold buildings as a dealer for a metal building manufacturer. And at some point, doing some very thorough business analysis, we made the decision, let's just do away with the construction side and let's just focus on selling metal buildings. And so, what we focused on expanded. I mean, the metal building, the metal building enterprise just took off. I mean, beyond our wildest dreams. And that's not, I'm not just saying that, it's such an easy thing to say, beyond my wildest, but literally beyond our wildest dreams. I mean, and so, and I know that a lot of that was because of the focus that I gave it, because I wasn't able to focus on just that aspect. I was spreading myself thin, handling all these different things versus just focus on selling metal buildings. And it's not just that area, but there's other areas too, just like in raising kids and in your relationship, in your attitude, if you focus on.
What you focus on, you become, is that what it is? I'm going to write it in.
What you focus on expands.
Oh, expands. That's really good.
I mean, I think it's kind of like, hey, what you nurture grows. What you fertilize. We kind of think of our business as almost being like we're farming, and we talk about interacting with customers like we're planting seeds, and the more you invest in a good relationship with like a customer, for instance, well, guess what?
Yeah.
You're probably going to reap something good out of that. And that just, that goes across the board.
That is really, really good advice.
Yeah.
Because you can take it into everything. You can take what you focus on. So if you want a better relationship with your spouse, for example, or your children, if you really put effort and really focus in being more loving or whatever it is you want more of, because they say if you want more love in your relationship, then you have to give more love. So if you put a focus on what you want, I like that.
When you said something about gratitude, you were talking about essentially your mentality of focusing on being grateful or having gratitude, and I feel like that goes right in line with that concept of if you focus on having a positive mentality, a positive mindset, well, guess what? Positive things are going to come out of that in your life.
That's true.
We really have seen that big time. Yeah.
For sure.
Good. That's amazing. Love it. Absolutely love it. Good answer.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah, it's great. Okay. Third question. I'll just keep going from the top, hey?
Okay.
Oh, geez. At least she's
All
not
right,
going,
Jane.
oh, no.
They're like, oh.
You've been watching here. Every time she draws a card, she goes,
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, what is this one?
Oh, this is
Oh, God, let it be PG. No.
interesting to do this with a couple, because how do others describe you? So I guess it'd be interesting if, I guess you could do it like, Lesley, you could be like, you could feel how do others describe you, or Augie could describe you, but that maybe if you want to do it on your own, how you think others describe you, that's pretty good. It's not, sometimes it's not an easy thing to do. I don't know how you guys feel, but we are harder on ourselves.
Yeah.
So, and then someone else might be like, oh, and okay, like Lesley, I'm like, oh, Lesley Roses is amazing. I can't wait to have her on. She's so positive and she's so cute, so beautiful. And there, right?
Thank you.
Question answered. There you go.
So we don't always see ourselves the way other people see us. Wow. I don't know. I've heard a lot of different things. I've been described as a little bit crazy.
Which can be good.
Because of all the kids and, blending a family with more kids. You can imagine even how our own families felt about the whole thing. I've been described as brave, intuitive, a redhead. But not a carrot top. Carrot tops are green.
That's true.
Quirky. Augie calls me his foxy fairy, his strawberry angel.
Oh,
She's magical.
I'm magical.
how do you describe her, Augie?
You're blushing. Good.
She is. She's funny. She's a go-getter. That's probably one of the first things that comes to my mind. She is a go-getter. She's very determined. She's very smart, very, very smart. She doesn't think so, but she's one of the smartest person I know. She's got a naughty sense of humor, which I love. She's very creative, very colorful, and very artistic.
No, this is like the
Very
perfect question for
artistic,
you guys.
yeah.
And
Sorry,
artistic.
my face hurts now.
And wise. How much time do we have? Yeah.
Okay, now Augie, how do you think others describe you then?
It probably depends on who, because the kids that I coach in sports would probably say intense, hardcore, but I'm mostly happy-go-lucky, pretty easygoing, hardworking. I don't know.
Okay, Lesley, how do you describe Augie then?
He's perfect.
Yeah.
No, this man gets up in the morning, and the first thing he does after he grabs coffee is he sits down and starts working. And he will work until 2 a.m. sometimes to provide for our family. And he's been doing this like since the day I met him. He does not, he calls me hardworking and unstoppable, but he's incredible.
Wow.
He's kind. He's always made time for our kids. You know, we have 11 sons between us, and they've all been in sports. And at one time I think we had 8 football players and 3 cheerleaders in the football sports. And this man was coaching. He was there on the field for all the games. That means like on the weekends when we should have off, we would go every Saturday from the first game all day long till the very last game, because we had kids in every single league
and cheerleaders.
Wow. Wow.
And this was like on a shoestring. You know, somehow he's managed to budget and work it out for our kids to do whatever they would love to do, which at that time was sports.
Okay, that's incredible, because it is expensive having children, even just having a couple that are in sports. So, wow.
He's very faithful. Like, he has a strong belief in God and a faith in God, and he always reminds me of where our strength comes from. He's faithful to his family. He's faithful to his work. He's faithful to his friends. I just cannot. I couldn't have ordered a better husband. I mean, literally, I did have a list. I did have a list, Jane.
Oh, they say you put it out to the universe, your wants.
I did. I dreamed him. I mean, even how he looks, I dreamed.
Law of attraction.
And this man is everything. Like the checklist just went, except I hadn't added the 5 kids.
Well, I guess you'd want to meet someone that loves children when you're gonna
and that was on the list.
That's
it. If you have 12 and then you add 5, I mean, you know.
Yes.
And then the only ones
after 3 or 4, what's another few?
When we met, I had 8 left at home, and he had his 5. And then when we married, the one son was over 18, and he decided to stay in the town where we lived. So we went back to 12 again. For me, 12 again for me, but it was a little bit like starting over. And the interesting part is that his 5 kids, out of his 5 kids, 4 of them are the same age of one of my kids. So we went to double this and double that, and
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are amazing. So I'm just going to ask a final question of my own, no cards, and it is: what are you most grateful for right now in your life?
How do you answer that without being redundant?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably for each other, right? I'm sure.
For me, I'm just so grateful. Yeah, I'm just so grateful for our family and where they're at, for the life that we have each other. We have a home, we have our children, we have joy.
Mhm.
It usually does
I-
come down to the simple things, but
Yeah. I mean, really, not wanting to come off like overly mushy gushy here, but like really, I mean, I'm just so grateful for her, for our relationship. It's been tough. It has been a very tough road to hoe over the last 10 years here, and with a blended family, with our business, going up and down, mostly down. The economy, COVID-19. I mean, so many different things that have been really, 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 really hard. But her positive attitude. She's such an amazing cheerleader. I mean, like,
yeah,
she's so positive and encouraging. She always seems to have the right things to say, at the right time. It's really her gift. I mean, really, it truly is. Like, I mean, I try, when she's down and having a hard time, like, I'm like struggling to think, what can I say? What can I say to help her? I feel like for her, it's just, she just knows what to say. It's,
that's why she's a really good coach.
Yeah, no, I mean, the whole coaching
I
thing is exactly what she should be doing. But so yeah, no, I couldn't. I know that we wouldn't be where we are now, which is in a really great place if it wasn't for her, stick to it
for each other.
It wasn't for him.
We're a team.
You guys are awesome. I love it. I can feel the love, respect, joy you bring each other, everything, and it really is seeing each other just with love and respect, and knowing that the other person wants the best for you. That's like with my husband and I. Even if something happens in your marriage or a day, and you think, that may be something, you think, no, they want the best for me. They right. And so when you don't take things personally too, I think in your marriage, when someone's having a bad day or whatever's happening, you don't take it personally. You're just like, no, like this man loves me or this woman loves me, and instead you just love them more. And I always think with Ed and I, if there's any issues, it's like, what is the outcome you want? I just want to be happy. You want to. No one gets up in the day and says, oh, I'm gonna try and cause trouble today. We want to get up and have joy and be there for each other. That's what marriage and life is about. But you are incredible. I am so honored that you came on. It's been super fun. The questions were great.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much for having us, Jane.
This is great.
Yeah, it was great. And Lesley's website, lesleyroses.com. You guys should check it out. It's beautiful. Color Me Unstoppable. And yeah, she's amazing. And all right, thanks. We'll sign off. Thanks, Augie. Thanks, Lesley.
Bye,
Thank
Jane.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for watching. Bye.